I have always been here.
Something wicked this way comes. And tonight, that wicked thing is zombies. Welcome everybody to Ambassador Wing and night one of Wicked Wednesdays. And tonight, we kick off the season of the witch with a discussion about a great horror classic, Night of the Living Dead, by the great one himself, George A. Romaro. And with me this evening, I have got Moira Kitty, Mr. CeCe, and Cody of Superior Hero Reviews. And sorry for the delay, folks. These things happen. So, anyways, lady and germs, how are we all doing tonight? Or should I say, gals and ghouls?
Guys and ghouls, I think.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Oh, God. DJ.
And for those of you who might be wondering what my little avatar is, this is actually the director, Tom Savini, as Sex Pistol from Dusk Till Dawn. Yep. And very quickly to the chats, our nerd line, good evening, my friend. Good to see you as always. So, all right, guys. Well, we're not going to stand a whole bunch of ceremony here. Let's just jump right in and let's talk all things dead. Rather than watch the debates.
Same thing, basically.
Essentially, but this is more fun. What do zombies and politicians have in common? They're both brain dead. Sorry. All right, guys. I open the floor. Where do you want to begin? Do you want to start with the remake or do you want to start with the original? And where do you want to begin with these?
What kind of savage would start with the remake?
Okay. I'm good with that.
I mean, we can incorporate a little of that into how it compares, but still, you always got to talk about the first one first.
Sure. I'm good with that.
And it's been a long time since I've seen either.
So.
I do remember it. The second one was a little more gross. Had a little extra gross factor.
It did have a little more gross factor.
Remember that nasty thing upstairs that she found? And she was about dripping? Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. The second one was way more gory, but of course they had a budget for this movie. The second one, they had no budget. There was zero budget. This is about as no budget.
They did really good for having no budget. They did really nice.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was bad. It was just slightly switched up a wee bit.
Yeah, very true.
I like that Barbara wasn't completely falling apart in the second one as much as the first one.
Yes,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, Barbara became
she fell apart a little for a minute there, but I mean, who the fuck wouldn't,
Barbara became pretty much of a badass in the second one.
Yeah, he had a slapper. He's like, bitch, get a hold of yourself,
Indeed.
Like, don't get this girl a lot of things.
Really. Well, Cody, your thoughts?
Well, first off, the first movie had a budget of $114,000.
That's pretty good for back then. Shit.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay, low budget compared to what we would have nowadays.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm like, dude, $114K to produce a movie is nothing. That's
not bad because this movie was made in 66?
65.
68.
I wasn't far off. Okay, it's been a while, but taking into account inflation and whatnot, that was probably the equivalent of what? Like $300,000, so it still would be considered low budget, but it would, that money got you further back then.
True. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I was watching the first movie today, and I forgot what these movies were really about. Like from when I was a kid, I was just like, "Oh my god, this is crazy! This is so scary."
Right?
You're watching it as a 30-year-old man. I'm just like, really? We got zombies busting out headlights and cars? Is this really happening
They
right
can
now?
barely move.
But they were ghouls, right? That's what they were.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, they can
Zombie.
barely move, but they can knock out a headlight. That glass is thick. I'm just saying.
Well, remember the lore wasn't actually established at that time, so they could be both
Well, no, but
zombie and ghoul at the same
they're like,
time.
and they can barely move and stuff. So
Well,
Yeah,
out like the headlights, because back then the headlights were glass. They
yeah.
were thick.
Well, and here's the thing. Originally, the title for this movie was Night of the Flesh Eaters, and there was another movie that was already copyrighted as that, so they had to change it
Well, this
to
worked out.
Night of the Living Dead.
I
So,
think it worked out for him.
huh?
I think it worked out okay for him.
Well, just think about it.
Not
Night of the
everybody
Living.
knows Night of the Living Dead. Not everybody's heard Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Exactly. It kind of rolls off of the tongue. Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Flesh Eaters. It doesn't sing. That's the
Right.
thing.
In fact, this is the first zombie movie I ever saw. It was by accident.
Mhm.
My mom had the TV on, and every day we would go for walks and stuff. And it was on. I guess something else had been on previously, and she was taking care of stuff in the other room or whatever. And it came on. And I remember the part where the dude's like in the hospital gown. He starts chewing his own arm, and I'm like 4, so. Like, I don't always know what's a show and what's the news, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just see this, and I'm like highly alarmed. And my mom comes in, turns the TV off. All right, honey, you ready for a walk? And I'm like, not knowing if they're out there. I'm like, I vaguely remember, apparently she got me to go on that walk. And I think I watched everybody real close as they walked by, you know? So I didn't watch a zombie movie again for a long time.
Well, for me, I've always loved zombie movies. Of course, I love anything that creeps, crawls, goes bump in the night. I mean, Halloween is one of my favorite times of the year, truly.
Yes.
And
So
zombies
that's
just...
why I don't understand when Walmart starts putting out Christmas shit in the fucking September. Like, what kind of sick freak does that?
Yeah, I wholeheartily agree with you, Moira, believe me. But
I think if the Halloween trail works out, I think I might have it even through Christmas. Like, you sick of Christmas bullshit? Come on to our haunted trail.
Yeah. But, zombies ever since the 60s, they have become a trope of horror movies, but also a trope of Halloween. Because obviously we associate death and dying things with Halloween. And the cool thing about the remake, and I was watching the making of, which I did pin in the chat to anybody who wants to watch it. It's the making of the remake of Night of the Living Dead. The thing that Tom Savini said that I thought was really important. We needed to make zombies scary again. And the thing that he said is we don't ever want to call them zombies. We just want to call them things or death. And he's like, how? Because something he had said during the interview was we had Thriller. We had several other things going on that dealt with zombies, and it kind of made zombies not quite as scary. And he's like, we need to make death scary again. So, and very quickly to the chat, Mr. Lindell's Groovy Movies. Mr. Lindell, good evening, sir. Good to see you.
Hello.
Glad you could pop by.
Hi.
So, but guys, any thoughts on what I just said there, or just anything in general? So,
Well, I do like that they kept them as shamblers instead of fast zombies. In the modern literary lore, they're fast zombies are whites, and so I'm really glad that they kept them as shamblers rather than whites, who could speed up and had real super strength and could stun a person just by touching them, that kind of thing. So these are I think even in the 68 version, it was established that if you get bit by one, you become one.
Yes.
Yep, the little girl in the basement and her mom.
Yeah. And so
well, here's the thing though. In the original, the little girl doesn't bite her mother; she just kills her.
yeah.
Okay, that's why I forgot. She took a hammer to her, which is fucking weird.
No, I think it was a trowel. It wasn't a hammer because if you
I
remember
know
in the
some kind of tool she had because it just shows her mom going like this and the shadow of her going like that. So
I think it was a trowel or a screwdriver. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was a trowel or some.
Because that's like the first time a zombie used a tool in a movie too, and it's like so the others they just.
In the remake, they show a scene where when Ben goes down into the basement. Ben is his name, right?
Yes.
Yep.
He goes down into the basement, and they focus on the trowel with the blood on it.
Yes, that was deliberate. That was kind of that was a little bit of a wink and a nod. So
a little bit of a wink and a nod, yeah.
So, well, Cody, anything you want to talk? Anything in particular you want to bring up? Or anything?
No, just to touch on what you were saying, I definitely agree that zombies should be scary. I hate when they try to make things cartoonish or like, childish in a way, even though I guess, they want to appeal to all markets. But, when you think about Thriller, I mean, I love that movie, the song too. But at the same time, I want to think about, zombies wanting to eat my brains. That's why I'm like, oh, zombies.
Which is weird because the majority of zombie movies, they actually don't really even necessarily go for the brains. They just go for arms, legs.
Yeah.
I'm okay with a zombie movie being silly if they know they're being silly. Like Shaun of the Dead.
I can do it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I can agree with that.
If it's a silly movie and they're trying to be serious, then it's awful. But if they embrace it and they know it's silly and that's the goal, then it can be fantastic.
When you mentioned Shaun of the Dead, you got me there.
I love Shaun. I got a poster up on my wall. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Oh man, who doesn't?
It's fabulous.
No, the rifle above the bar isn't loaded. It's not real.
Sure the heck it does.
Well, and if you think about it, George Romaro, when he made this first one, he really set a trend that has been. I mean, zombie movies have come and gone since the 60s. I mean, you'll have a spurt of them, and then you'll have a lull. And you'll have another spurt of them, and then you'll have a lull. And then you'll have another spurt, and then you'll get The Walking Dead, which has been going on for
10 years.
Several years now. Yeah, 10 years roughly. And
Fear the Walking Dead. And now they have a spin-off called Walking Dead Beyond or something where
The World Beyond. Yeah.
The World Beyond. I haven't had a chance to see it, but I have heard of it. And I'm kind of excited to see this new point of view from kids that never really ventured out into it. So I think it's be interesting.
It might be, but honestly, as I've said before, when people were eating other people and it wasn't zombies, I kind of checked out of Walking Dead because that was just a step too far for me. But that's just me.
Yeah, that was some weird fucking shit, man. Or is it one in Terminus where they were
Terminus?
That was some fucking weird ass shit. But I stuck around for it until they killed Glenn. I was so pissed. And then, years later, I skipped to season 9.5 and went from there. I'm like, all right. They got
I won't
running around with the zombie masks on. They took the skin off, and I'm like, damn, y'all are hardcore. Holy crap! It's clever, but yuck.
Well, and the interesting thing about both versions, the original and the remake, one came out in the late 60s, the other came out right at the beginning of the 1990s.
I think it was 90.
No, it was 1990, right on the nose.
God, I really suck.
It's okay. I can remember exactly myself, so don't feel bad. But they both tackled things. They both tackled social subjects that were very different and everything. Obviously, 1960s, still with dealing with the civil rights movement and everything. And obviously, we've got a
Domestic abuse. Also, domestic abuse about
yes,
how he's treating his wife and
Cooper. Yeah, Cooper was a scumbag.
Oh God, yeah. You just couldn't wait. I felt bad about the daughter, but like he deserved his.
I agree.
Oh.
And Romaro.
And you were like you said, it was coming off the civil rights thing. It showed white people and a black person working side by side for a common goal.
Oh, okay, Mr. Lindell. Hey, Mr. Lindell. He brings up. Yeah.
Oh, shoot, he's right because I walk with a zombie with Bela Lugosi. He ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I walk with a zombie, a white zombie, I think.
Yes, I think you're right.
I forgot about that.
Don't feel bad. Mr. Lindell, I don't know if you're free tonight or if you're to be interested. If you want to be part of the panel, just either say something in the comments or DM me on Twitter, and I'll send you the link. Because I think this would be obviously right up your alley, and I think you want to join the discussion. So, but honestly, truthfully, the thing that they talked about, and this is something I agree with, particularly with the character of Barbara. They really transformed the character from the original, from the 60s film to this one. As I think it was CeCe or Cody said, they turned Barbara into a badass.
Yeah,
and if you think
they totally flipped it. Went from long-haired blonde to short-haired red, and from like this girl who's freaking out to this chick who's like, taking shots.
Ambassador, do you remember earlier? Like I was telling you, I was rewatching the original. I was like, Barbara, shut up! God,
yeah.
wild.
She was either screaming or catatonic the entire time.
Well,
horrible.
I thought she a little screwed up too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
grabbing me, ripping at me.
I know. I was like, "Bitch, calm down!" Oh my god.
And then in the remake, it was like she was freaking out, obviously, because, well, I mean, she's freaking out. I mean, dead people are trying to attack her, and then
things are attacking. Yeah, it's a lot to take in on a night.
She develops as a character and says, "That's enough. We are done with this. We are going to get out of here." And so she starts shooting him in the head. Oh yeah, that's the Barbara I would be with, not the Barbara from 1968. Sorry.
Yeah, that Barbara's going to get somebody killed. She's going to be cannon fodder.
Did you guys know that the posse member who killed Ben? He was also a production manager of the movie too, right? He had no idea about his key role. He just thought he was another gunman in the movie.
Oh, really? I did not know that. Okay. Wow.
And very quick, Mr. Lindell, check your DMs, sir. Yeah, but, that was the cool thing about this, because they were able to actually get pretty much the entire original crew from the 60s film, and they brought other people in. They brought new people in, like Tom Savini and some other people to work on, like, the special effects and everything. And I think it was one of the producers said, this time the people that are working on the film actually get to make some money off of it.
Right.
Because the movie did well, but here he is. Mr. Lindell, good evening, sir.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, man, how are you?
Howdy, Mr. Lindell.
Hey.
Pleasure to have you. And, Mr. Lindell, we have popped your ambassadorial cherry. Welcome.
Hey. This is actually like number 3. Oh, God, that sounded so scary, though, But anyway, yeah.
Pleasure to have you on, truly.
It's fun. It's fun hanging out with you. I've only done it a few times. Every time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's been mostly on either LDG or over on DJ's. channels. So it's nice to have you over in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's about time I make it.
Well, and this is right up your alley. This is
Sorta.
this is a
Sorta,
very
kinda.
groovy. This is a very groovy movie.
Yeah,
So
but believe it or not, I am yet to show it on my channel.
really,
But you see it so much everywhere.
Mhm.
I don't know when I don't know when would be an opportune time to put it in my lineup. That's the problem. It's that and teenage. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a space. It's a sci-fi movie. Teenage something or another.
Teenagers from Space. That's a
Yeah.
terrible movie.
I know it, but you see it so much. It's hard for me where to put it. You know, I mean, Night of the Living Dead in a lot of ways is a really bad movie. You know,
it kind of is because the acting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cringy. It really is.
If you just stop and if you watch the movie and stop and think about all the things they taught you in humanities class about theatricality and verisimilitude and all of that stuff, it's so lacking in all of that.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Yeah, that is the hokiest line in a movie. Okay, if I did that to my sister, she'd slap me. Okay, it was. I mean, come on. If I did that to my sister, she'd haul off and slap me. So I mean, but with this movie, the thing that, in my opinion, that caught everybody, it was right in that 60s gore when horror started turning into gore.
Yes.
And I think that was the thing that drew people to it.
Mhm.
You got dead people eating people. Think about it, okay? That's kind of gross. And why in the 60s that began attracting people, I really haven't discovered. So,
I think it was the drugs. Going on.
And we were starting to go into Vietnam, so yeah, drugs.
yeah.
Peace, love, and zombies.
True that.
And just real quick to the chat, LDG Pixels, good evening, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Greatly appreciated as always. So, well, one thing that I do want to, something that I started to touch upon and everything, particularly with the remake, and I really want to, if y'all are up to it, I want to kind of do a deep dive on this. Barbara. We got Patricia Tallman, she has her own credentials and everything in terms of stuff she's done. Obviously, the big thing she's known for is Babylon 5 as the character of Lee Alexander, and obviously this. And then you had the other actress. Well, she's pretty, she's blonde, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But if you put the 90s version of Barbara with like some of the great throwback characters, female characters from like the 80s and 90s who knew how to kick ass and take names, I think we put Barbara in there. What do y'all think? And how do you think she fits into that whole situation?
I think she stacks up with Ridley just fine.
You mean Ripley?
Ripley, yeah, Ripley.
I don't think she's Ripley level because
No, I agree. She's not.
nobody
statement,
else was. That's why she survived and nobody else did.
Yeah. Ripley was a badass. Okay.
Oh yes, she was. I mean, Barbara ain't far off as far as zombies go, but like if she'd gone up against Xenomorph, it wouldn't have gone well. Like she wouldn't have been ready for that shit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Ripley wasn't ready for the original Alien and Alien either.
But she knows she can, and she also had like weapons that the other Barbara didn't have access to. So, and training because they were in like the military of some kind in the movie, so they had military training where Barbara didn't.
No, they were minors in Alien when
They
she
were,
first
like,
encountered the
something.
xenomorph.
They had a shitload of weapons for being minors.
They were mostly fire or
Yeah,
flamethrowers.
most of that was makeshift.
Yeah.
Moira, you're probably thinking of Aliens, the sequel.
Yeah, where they had the Marine contingent go down to the planet. That's Aliens.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah,
We're talking about the first one.
That. My bad.
Yeah,
No,
the
it's
first
okay.
one they
No worries.
had flamethrowers and bolt throwers, and that's all they had.
Well, yeah.
And she was not prepared. She was freaked out for the first half of the movie, and then she became Ripley that we all know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Badass. Get away from
I'd be kind of
her.
Barbara an alien, though. Like, I'd be freaking the hell out. Like, slow zombies, you can, like, outrun them, you can shoot them. Those xenomorphs, like, man, I hope I just die of a drug overdose, because, oh, shit. Like, I'll take my tranquilizers. Just nope.
So, well, yeah, and the other thing I will remark upon about both Night of the Living Dead films, they really set up the sense of claustrophobia with the movies. And I mean, obviously it's centered around this farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And you've got this small group of people trying to fight off this massive horde. And the whole dynamic of the group and everything in both instances, to me, is the dynamic and everything is really, honestly, really, really interesting. Everything. What do y'all think?
Do you get the feel that like everyone tries to be the leader in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially
No
remake.
No.
Especially in the original.
The wife didn't. Barbara certainly wasn't up. Wait.
Yeah, no, she wasn't.
She wasn't up to it. But it was basically between that nasty, like, domestic abuse dude and the darker skinned guy.
Yeah, that Harry Cooper
Darker
dude
skinned guy was doing better because, he wasn't being like, some fat scumbag house husband. So you automatically liked him better if he had any sense.
That Harry Cooper dude was a coward in both movies.
Right, and nobody likes a fucking coward. Even cowards don't like cowards. They're like, even cowards like want someone to save them.
Indeed.
We should hide in the basement until. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, because that door will magically hold it since the other won't.
Or we should hide in the cellar like he did in the remake.
Yeah, did she? Oh wait, no wait, hold on. Oh wait, hold on. So I remember. Okay, because at the end, the two different guys were killed. I think the redhead had to kill the dark skinned guy in the second one, and then I think the coward was alive in the other one, and they shot his ass anyway.
In the remake, this is what I remember. One of the guys or anything that came back with Barbara to the house, zombie Ben comes up out of the basement, and he gets shot by one of them. Barbara pretty much bumps into Cooper when he comes down out of the basement, and she just smokes him. And she's like, another one for the fire. Yeah, another one for the fire.
Another one for the fire. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Damn, girl.
Yeah, Harry went up and hid in the attic.
Oh, okay. I knew he came from somewhere, but obviously it couldn't have been with old dude because he would have got bit. So I was like.
And when he knew that everything was safe, he came down. He was like, "Oh, Barbara, you came back for me," and she just blew him away.
Okay, that's the remake, right? Okay,
yes.
I've only seen the remake once, and the ending was so disappointing. I have never watched it again. I'll watch the original, or I'll watch a Bela Lugosi zombie movie before I'll watch the remake of Night of the Living Dead.
I'll watch all four, all three. I don't care.
No,
But even talking about the claustrophobia, it kind of works with your agoraphobia too, because like they're out in the middle of nowhere, so there's all this open space, but zombies. But you know, if they run, it's going to be forever before they can reach anywhere that might help them. So it's almost this lost at sea kind of feeling at the same time.
Better
So
carve up.
you're either stuck or you're like out in the open too much, you know.
Well, in both of the movies, at least one of the characters did finally make a run for it. Ben in the '68 version, and he got shot by the rednecks, and that's one of the commentaries on the.
See, that's the ending I wanted to change in the remake. He was the only one that kept his head in the original throughout that. I wanted him
kept them all alive as much as he could.
In the remake, I wanted him to be the one that survived.
Or him and Barbara. Like,
Okay.
that would have been good. Like, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Because they both live.
So, Mr. Lindell, is that the main reason why you don't care for the remake? Is because Ben gets zombified and killed at the end?
Yeah. I mean, I understand subverting expectations and all of that, but that was just a letdown. Okay, he sent what's her name out to go get help. She went and she got help. She gets back, he's a damn zombie. What the? I mean, come on. You can't do it. You can't write any better than this.
You know, neither of the movies ever actually explained how the zombie, how you turn into a zombie. Neither one of the movies ever explained that.
True.
Yeah, see, I like to explain. That was my problem with almost every single zombie movie, except for the really bad, cheesy ones, which showed you it was a chemical spill. But at least they try to give me an origin.
Hey, I like those movies. They're funny.
They're awful. They're extra disgusting to make up for their lack of plot and storyline. Well, the plot.
Get that damn screwdriver out of my head.
I know, I hated that so much. I'm like, does anybody realize that she has no lungs to be speaking and probably been cut at the vocal cords? This is outrageous. I'm like sciencing way too hard into this. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, actually, I think Return of the Living Dead.
Oh,
it gave you an explanation,
and it ties into these.
It ties into these, and
kind of, because what they had was in the barrels was the leftovers from that first movie. That doesn't explain the zombies from that first movie. That's where I'm at.
And see, as cheesy as that plot is, at least it gives you something. That's my biggest problem with any zombie movie. I'm like, where do they come from?
Right, exactly.
Why does no one know this? It's just the end of the world all of a sudden.
They're all infected.
Yeah.
And which is weird because if you get more infected, I guess. Like it doubles down or something.
I guess something like that.
It's still gonna be a zombie.
In the remake, anyone who died, if their brain wasn't destroyed, they came back as a zombie, right?
Yeah, like dead, right? Yeah.
Why? I'm confused because the little girl got bit, and that's why she became a zombie. So that makes sense.
She got her mom. Actually, I think she got her mom so much she didn't come back. I don't know.
It's infectious. We get that.
Yeah, but it doesn't explain to what degree or how it was, like if it was water contamination. If so, how widespread is it?
Yeah, because remember they turned on the television and there was a report saying that people in dead bodies in morgues and mortuaries were just getting up.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, was it just a comet going by that caused this? Because, like, the turnaround rate for zombiness in the movie wasn't very long. It was maybe an hour or so, and then they'd rise. By the time you're at the mortuary, you've probably been dead for a day or so. So why did they now then suddenly get up? Like, what got sprinkled on them? Like, is it time activated? What kind of shit? Like, I've got questions.
I don't think Romero clearly thought that part out because
I would have asked.
Well, the movie, it's like, okay, here's the situation. That's what they're saying. You got all these cannibal dead people out, and you got a handful of people in this little house. No way to call for help. How do they survive? That was basically what Romero set up.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It worked.
for that movie, for this movie, it works great. Now,
Yeah, because
we've sat, years and years and years watching this movie. Oh yeah, we see all the problems in it. Where did the zombies come from? Why didn't they get the truck started earlier? Why?
They were out of gas.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Because I can't remember because I didn't go all. It's been, like I said, 20 years since I've seen these movies, and I just started the original today. In the remake, did one of those guys shoot a gas tank with a shotgun and blow up?
He tried. He
Yes.
was trying to shoot
was
the
the,
rock off of the gas tank, of the gas pump, and he missed slightly and ignited everything.
Okay.
I don't think that
reason I
actually
remember
happened because gas itself is flammable, but it's not explosive. But the vapors are. So technically, unless there was already a fuel leak, it should not have quite gone up like that.
well, if you remember in the remake, the torch that Ben had been using, he threw into the bed of the truck, and when the spray from Tom shooting the gas tank sprayed over onto the fire.
That makes more sense because the vapors were around it. And that could
The
Not to mention
aerated gasoline, yeah. Trust me, I was a fueler for 15 years.
Oh,
Well, not well, and if you notice later on, the zombies are having barbecue.
I know
Barbecue Tom and barbecued. Oh, what was the
I
girl's name?
forgot all about that.
Yeah, like that was the only food they had.
Barbecue Tom.
Oh, poor Tom.
see, and that was two more characters that could at least keep their emotions in check that we lost in the
Well, the boyfriend
original.
was doing okay. The girlfriend was doing a little better than Barbara, a little.
Yeah.
But she was kind of young, so you kind of expect it. The girl looked like she was maybe 19. So, I mean,
Well, not to mention,
teenager kind of freaking out.
let's be candid here. We all know country girls that can handle things a lot better than a city girl can.
This isn't milking a cow. This is the dead coming back. Okay?
Yeah.
Playing field for everybody. I mean, nobody's ready for that shit, no matter how much they think they are.
But Moira, what I'm
That's
saying
a good
is,
point, Moira.
well, Moira, what I'm saying is, women who grow up in the country and everything, and well, I'm married to a country girl, Madam Ambassador. They can keep their head on straight a lot better than, well, let's say some city women. I mean, now of course Barbara, she was able to adapt and change and do better. And I think if she met the other Barbara from the original movie, she'd be like,
She'd have smacked her till she get a hold of herself, too.
Yeah.
okay, I can say this. I don't think it'll offend Moira. Bitch, you be out of your damn mind.
Yeah.
That's bringing up the scene in Airplane where people are lining up to smack the woman.
Yes.
All bad, brass knuckles.
Okay, get out of here.
Woman's ass. Oh my God, that was funny.
I gotta get out of here. Get a hold of yourself. And everybody's just lined up. One woman's got a gun. Another person's got boxing gloves. Another person's got a bullwhip.
Oh, I forgot about the bullet, but I remember the ball bat. He was just sitting there like this, hitting his hand, waiting. And I'm like, damn.
Yep. Well, that's because Airplane was written by a good crew of people.
Yeah.
Much like the movie. It was
Zucker Brothers. Yeah.
yes. Oh man.
Have all of you watched
I'm-
The Walking Dead? I didn't mean to interrupt you, dude. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Cody. You're fine.
No, I was just asking, have you all watched The Walking Dead? At least a couple seasons of it?
Bits and pieces. I quit after season 6 because I was mad about Glenn dying.
That's
And then
that's far enough. So you guys know
I
Carol,
jumped
right?
over to season 9.5.
So you know, not changing the subject here. I'm just making a comparison.
Sure.
Carol from season 1,
Mm-hmm.
beaten housewife,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ends up being badass,
Yep.
like rescuing everyone from Terminus. So first season, Carol, Barbara from the original movie. Season 4 or 5, whenever she rescues everyone from Terminus, Carol is Barbara at that point. Is that a good comparison? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can see that.
I think that's a very good comparison, Cody. Good one.
Yeah.
I was in my head. It was so much better put together. But
We totally get you. A lot of
All right.
stuff comes out of my mouth that I thought sounded better in my head, and then I'm like, that didn't word right. But I totally
That didn't come out of my mouth as good as it sounded in my head.
that is often the case with me.
I do that all the time.
God. Anyways, reset. Forget I said anything.
No.
It wasn't bad though. It was kind of like the evolution.
Cody,
of
you're good,
Barbara.
bud. You're totally good. Well, and
'Cause
something
Carol
we really
was like,
haven't
nobody gonna put their hands on her again. She'll take that hand off and feed it to him.
Yeah.
essentially, yep. And well, something we haven't talked about just yet or anything, but I think we can go here now. The makeup from chocolate syrup for blood to something that actually looks like blood.
Well, the black and white is pretty easy. I mean, it can be damn near any color and it'll work. Like,
Yeah.
as long as it's dark, you can be blue, purple, don't matter. But,
Yeah.
like, the subtlety was good. Like, they didn't overdo it because when your person's freshly dead, they don't really quite look it. It
Mhm.
takes a few hours before the eyes look kind of sunken in and everything. So they were subtle with it. They didn't look instantly zombie, you know? So
Yeah,
that was more accuracy in the original for that.
that first scene in the graveyard when that guy was walking toward the car and he
Well,
had
he
his
looked like
suit
he was
on.
dead for a day or so.
Right. He didn't look, like a zombie. He just looked like
Yeah, exactly.
a guy, and she was calling for help. And
Yeah.
um,
Actually,
when
he
he
kind of
started-
looked like a crazy homeless person, you know?
Well, this is
Well, he
like
started
zombie,
stepping on his suit, right? And the suit came down.
but his
Yeah.
mouth was dry. But I mean, it looked like somebody who'd been legit dead for a day or so. And so, I mean, that looked believable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Totally. Well, not to mention, if you notice with all the zombies, there's certain zombies or anything, their skin had a yellow tint to it, which I thought was actually kind of cool. And it really, the makeup was realistic, which is why I think it was so effective, because they obviously did a lot of research on decomposing bodies and looking at what other movies had done in terms of like their version of the undead and so on. And I think they did obviously you had Tom Savini and you had his company and everything, his special effects company working on the makeup.
Yeah. I think the yellowish tone to the skin was probably fairly. I mean, it varies on a person, but depending on this virus, like if it's like as you're dying, if like say your liver is starting to shut down, your skin will get a hint of yellowish tone, kind of like jaundice. Also, when all your blood stops pumping and it starts to pool, because I know they don't really ever show what fresh zombies feet, because it should be fairly reddish colored from the pooling, because it'll go to the lowest point, but it will leave the rest of the skin looking either pale with a hint of yellowish.
Well, the scene I was talking about with the guy walking toward the car when his suit finally pulled off of his chest, they showed a rear view of him, and you could see the blotching of the blood pooling on his back.
Or what it had been, I guess, I'm assuming it would start to drain downward at some point, but yeah. But yeah, the splotching sounds like it would be accurate. Like, I've never seen a dead body actually get up, so I'm not really
Fair enough.
sure how that would look. Like, yeah. So showing some of the splotches, that would actually make sense, because once the blood stops pumping, it would start to thicken and coagulate, and it could leave splotches. Even if the person did get up, some of the splotching would still be there, I think. Logically speaking, I think that sounds like it would be accurate.
Yeah, totally.
And then you're thinking about, like, yeah, that sounds like it could be legit.
Nobody's figured out the rigor mortis part of it, though.
Uh,
Yeah. Only one movie seemed to cover that, and that was that cheesy like 1985 movie where they were in the crematorium, and there
Yeah,
were like
I think it
they were
was.
having a hard time moving. That's the only
Yeah,
movie I've
Richard.
seen of zombies that actually covered Ritter. You're right. I mean, they did a cheesy job.
Return of the
They
Living
covered
Dead
the
Part
subject.
2.
Yeah, they covered a subject of death. The other zombie movies seem to fail to do.
Yeah, but that was the Undertaker, and he was preparing a body, and he was explaining to those guys how he would work the joints and so forth to get some in it. It was one of the little tricks he did to make the person look more like he did when he was alive.
Hmm.
When he was being embalmed.
So if the zombie gets up and starts walking, he'd work his own joint.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Huh.
Well,
Now, see, but that stiffness starts almost immediately when a person dies. The rigor mortis starts to set in quick.
I have to look it up. I can't remember. Was it an hour or two?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
take long
roughly.
for it to set in.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because if you remember in it's Return of the Living Dead, because there was a Return of the Living Dead Part 2, and Return of the Living Dead Part 3. It's in
Yeah.
the first one that's in the crematorium and then the medical supply warehouse, where they actually do deal with the two guys and everything that got exposed to the gas from the tank, and they were slowly being killed by it, and essentially they were being turned into zombies.
Their joints are cracking as they're trying to reach out.
Yeah, exactly. And
was
it's
so
I think
funny.
it's like 20 or 30 minutes after they get exposed that the rigor mortis starts to set in.
And they
So,
start checking for their own pulse, and they can't find it and stuff.
yeah, the paramedics show up.
Yeah, and they pull the guy's shirt off and look at his back, and
Yeah.
they're like, "This guy's dead." Yeah.
Yeah, because the blood's pooling in his back because, well, he's the gas is slowly killing him. And
Well,
Yeah.
apparently it kind of already killed him to some degree for that to be happening. Or
yeah,
at least slowing the heart enough that it wasn't pumping correctly. There's a weird like jump over on that. That's where I'm sitting like kind of.
I wonder why they moved from eating flesh, which is what happened in these first two movies, to eating brains. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know, but it took off, and people still make brain jokes, even though like almost no other zombie movie even like covers that.
Yeah,
It
it had to have been.
With skull bone. That. I mean, people get headbutt and their teeth knocked out for a reason, so that shit's hard.
It had to have been a hook for these Return of the Living Dead movies.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, they're the only zombie movies that actually, it's about the brain. And think about it, it makes sense because different hormones or whatever that are made in the brain, and especially like the pituitary, because that was the one they had tied down, and they said they eat brains because it lessens the pain of death.
Huh.
So it was something about I'm thinking some chemical that the brain produces.
Yeah, that was Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Yeah,
No, Part 1.
it was Part 1 that they did that.
Yeah,
I think they reiterated it in Part 2 as well.
yeah, they may have.
What I find interesting is they would like instinctually know that would work. That's why I find interesting.
I don't even know if these are supernatural or chemical biological zombies.
Well, in the one from '85, it definitely indicated chemical because of the gases. But where that came from, the source of that though, is kind of mysterious.
Yeah,
Well,
so this movie, Night of the Living Dead, I don't know if it's supernatural or if it's chemical biological.
I think it's
It's
more likely to be biological because it was supernatural. Putting a stake through its brain is not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. think
Yeah,
necessarily.
I would say it's most likely a biological. If I had to venture a guess, I would think it was something like within Walking Dead, where they find out it's a virus and everybody has it.
And it shuts down most of the brain except the area near the brain stem, keeping some of the baser abilities alive.
Oh yeah. The same with World War Z. It was a virus.
Yeah.
And like 28 days and 28 weeks later is absolutely against the rules. I do not like zombies who can run faster than me. And they're technically not zombies because they were
Indeed.
not dead. They were just rabid as fuck.
Yeah, it's scary as
I
hell.
mean, you can still shoot them in the chest and they would die like normal.
Yeah, whereas in a normal zombie movie, you got to destroy the brain.
Yep.
right.
Or
That's why I feel like even though I don't know what to call it, it's almost on the very edge of zombie movie, but not quite.
right.
Something else.
So, but both these movies came out in pivotal times in the history of the country. Obviously, with the '60s one, right around the time of the civil rights thing, and then the '90s. Well, it was a change of a decade, and the '90s itself turned out to be a very interesting decade in and of itself. Let's just be candid here, but let's just go around the horn here, and Mr. Lindell, we'll start with you. What's your biggest takeaway from either version of Night of the Living Dead?
I would say teamwork.
Okay.
There was a situation where there was always somebody, okay, who put you in charge. That somebody always had that attitude in the original movie. And it started to destroy what they were trying to do, which is survive. Okay. If my thing is, military background that I have, it doesn't matter who says to do it. If it makes sense to do it, just freaking do it.
Right?
Okay.
No shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy, okay, you're in this house, and the guy says we got to board up the windows and the doors. Okay, grab a hammer. Somebody find some nails. Okay,
Right.
That's it. It doesn't matter. It could be a black guy, it could be a white guy, it could be whoever. Whoever came up with the idea, let's just
No matter, board up that shit.
yeah. That and the disappointing part. I speak mainly from the original. The black guy, the only guy that survives, he gets shot at the end. Okay, it was really disappointing. Now I will give it to the guy that shot him. There was distance there. He didn't know if he was alive or a zombie.
Right.
And it became why take the chance, and so headshot from 900 yards. But still, it's just disappointing because he was the one that was trying to keep everything together in the first place. And he was the only one to make it through the night. And had he not stuck his head out the window, he probably would have made it. But that's the movie. And now, thank you, Ambassador. I'm gonna have to put it on my channel.
You're welcome.
Since Halloween, I was thinking, okay, I got all these Vincent Price movies lined up. Now I got to fit in Romaro somewhere.
Glad I could create some kerfuffle for you, Mr. Lindell. Okay, Moira, what about you? What's kind of your takeaways from these movies?
Well, darn it! Like, I think one of the best answers was like already taken. So they're like scrambling to think of something. But yeah, working together is definitely important. times like that is no time for infighting bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if you've got a better idea, by all means, sweetheart, go fucking do it. Like, but quit trying to hold everybody else back, you know? Like, y'all can be petty tomorrow. If you're alive, y'all can be petty tomorrow. But, yeah, there's always going to be, like, an asshole in the group that's going to try to fuck it up for everybody. Just because. But, yeah, like, it's important to, definitely make sure that wherever you're at is all entrances are secured. That's just good life advice right there.
Yeah.
True.
You don't want some weirdo breaking into your house in the middle of the night. Oh, hell no. Like, and self-awareness, damn it.
Yep.
Okay, CeCe, how about you?
You can see the evolution of the women's liberation movement between the 68 film and the 90 film.
Very
The
astute.
way Barbara acted in 68 versus the way Barbara acted in 1990, you can see the evolution. It was absolutely brilliant the way Barbara acted in 1990 versus the quivering, comatose, screaming version of Barbara in 1968 that you just wanted to slap some more.
Yeah. Kitchen, and she wasn't ready for that shit.
Well, she did see her brother get killed, so.
Oh yeah, that'll fuck the person up. No doubt.
Oh yeah.
But still, but 1990s, Barbara saw her brother get killed too. But she still, like, freaked out a little and then got a hold of herself. Because, the women they start trying to raise their daughters to be, to not let that shit happen to them.
I mean, she was in shock for the first quarter of the movie, but then she came into her own and really, really took off as a character.
Oh, yes. Okay. Cody, how about you, bud?
Well, I'm a caveat kind of off of everyone. So, like, the teamwork thing, right? I've been watching a lot of military movies here lately, and I am prior military. But that's definitely, that's definitely one of the biggest things is working together for a common goal of survival. When you got so you got to put in factors. People are freaking out. It's like we don't have time to freak out. Shut up.
Yeah.
Grab a hammer, grab some nails. Let's board some shit up. All right, or we're gonna get eaten or shot in wherever, fantasy or real life. And two, what CCDV was talking about, the liberation thing, dude. Barbara in the 90s was a badass. Love it. It's like, I get it. I get the whole thing. You see your brother get eaten or killed, you're like, oh my god, that would mess me up. But seeing her from that, just the whole, he was grabbing me and ripping at me and it's like, and even the dude, he was like, okay, I think you need to calm down. Just calm down. Like, he was like yelling at her and stuff, And then her in the 90s movie, man.
Yelling at a woman to calm down usually works real well.
Always has for me. That's why I'm single.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, dude, I don't know, man. I'm gonna rent the remake tonight. I have to watch this now. You guys have got this rattling in my head now.
Well, Cody, I can't remember if I told you this. I actually found a channel and everything that has it split up into like 10-minute blocks, and I don't want to get that channel in trouble with YouTube, so I won't say the name of the channel. But what I'll do is I'll send you the link later.
Definitely.
I'll email it to you, or I'll put it in the private chat, one or the other. Actually, I think I can do that. Actually, I'll try and do that right now and everything, and I can kind of rattle here for a few minutes and everything. I think, honestly, for me, the thing about the takeaway from these two movies is, and this might seem a little tongue-in-cheek, it might be a little goofy, but zombies suck, but redheads kick ass.
Oh man, that's funny.
And I say that, and I say that as a person. I say that as a person who is married to a redhead, very strong, very formidable woman, and I love her to death. Love her, love her, love her. And Barbara is awesome beyond all reason. And zombies are ugly as hell.
They can be.
They are
Um,
so offensive.
the thing, now, in all seriousness, the thing I will say about Night of the Living Dead, for me, it was one of my. It has become one of my all-time favorite horror movies because I love zombie flicks for one particular reason. It shows people at their best, and it shows people at their worst. And I think...
Fair point, yeah.
Yeah.
And Cody, I just put that link and everything in the private chat.
All right.
So, like I said, it's split up into like sections.
God, I hate when they
Anything?
do that shit.
But that's the only way they can get away with doing a movie and it not getting taken down
Well,
by.
there's other channels on YouTube that show whole movies, like movies, literally. Like they bitch about anyone having copyright, but they literally have movies on their own channel that they do not own.
True. By the way,
It's actually funny thing. I tried to screenshot that particular channel, and it said for security reasons I couldn't. I was like, oh really now? So I used my other phone and took a picture of it because I got really pissed because YouTube was like harassing me and being a complete ass, and I tweeted to some of the movie companies and told them what YouTube was doing. With their
but it, as I started to say, movies like this, particularly zombie movies, really shows you how people react under stress. And that is something that's always interested me because I put myself in that situation and I think, how would I react to this? And whose strategy would I take? And personally speaking for myself, and y'all may disagree, and you know that's cool. I would take Barbara's strategy. I arm myself, I load a backpack with water and food, and I run. Particularly if I'm going up against shamblers. If I am going up against shamblers, I know I can duck and dodge them. I can sneak, particularly if I'm in a wooded area. And I go Rambo. I go survivalist, and I make myself to the nearest city that I feel is safe. If things look sketchy, I keep moving. I come if I have to keep going until I get to like a military base or something, then that's what I do. I go to the place that's going to be the most fortified. It's going to be the safest. That's going to give me my best chance of survival. And the minute I see things going sideways, Asta, I'm out. Bye.
Okay, I hear
Because-
you, man.
That sounds like my plan of attack.
find your local armory.
Say it one more time, Moira.
Find your local armory.
Oh, like National Guard Armory? Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Because if nobody's there, then it's all yours. And if somebody's there, then good, they can help you shoot.
Yeah. Oh, but I'd have to find me another Abrams though. Why play
Find
around?
the National Guard armory for that one, I think.
Well, and I think the other thing for me about zombie movies, they're just a bit of escapism, which I think any good horror movie should be. It gives you
Yeah.
that opportunity to just kind of switch off your brain and either watch the big bad get destroyed or the big bad do the destroying. And if you really think about it, with any zombie movie, well, particularly within the Romaro verse. Yes, I just said that, the Romaro verse, because he just recently stopped making these because I think the last one he made was Survival of the Dead or something else.
Where's that at?
You can find it on several free streaming platforms. I think it's on Tubi. I think it's on Crackle. It's on one that I just uploaded today called Pluto.
Oh, it's on Pluto. I got to hunt because that's my favorite streaming channel.
Really?
There's some of everything on Pluto.
I just discovered it today. I saw it on my thing because I was looking for some way to find either version to watch without having to pay anything. And I looked at their catalog and I was like, ooh, I'm going to keep this. Yeah. This will come in handy. So, but, I think that's what any good horror movie should allow you to do is shut your brain off for a while and see some really okay, I hate to use this term, but I don't hate to watch the stupid people get killed by the big bad.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, but
watch all the horny, hormonal idiot teenagers get killed by the slasher.
Slasher movie, not zombie movie.
Yeah.
Okay, in this case, watch the people that can't work together get eaten.
There you go.
Or you could go kind of thinking horror with a Hammer film,
Yes.
Okay.
Hammer films. Hammer films are awesome.
My mother loved Hammer films. I couldn't stand them. The blood looked so fake. It was like red paint.
I know. It's red paint number 9. We know that. But,
we don't care.
But to see it dripping out of Christopher Lee's mouth is great,
Yes. Indeed. And, honestly,
Hammer films were the spaghetti western version of horror films, I'm telling you.
But they were great.
Yeah. They took up the slack when Universal almost died, so.
Yeah. But, the horror movie genre is so vast, and particularly with all the subgenres, particularly the zombie film. I know we've focused on Night of the Living Dead, but aside from these two, what are some of y'all's favorite zombie movies or anything that you really enjoy? And it can cover the gamut from serious to satirical. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, all right. So, are we talking actual zombie or zombie-esque? Because I thought World War Z was surprisingly good.
I like World War Z too.
But
I've never seen it.
Well, fuck. I don't know how to help you, honey. Dadgummit.
I'll have to.
Brad Pitt's in a zombie film. How often does that shit fucking happen? It doesn't.
Not often. I'll have to check. I'll definitely check it out.
I wanted a zombie film for all I know. Oh god, that'd be interesting. But
so
Day of the Dead was one of my favorites.
Movie, so that's kind of zombie-ish.
Say one more time, Cody.
Day of the Dead is one of my favorite with Ving Rhames.
Oh man!
Wait, don't you mean Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead. I'm sorry, Day of the Dead.
No,
Dawn
it's okay.
It's so weird. Like when they're attacking the mall and the dude from Evil Dead accidentally chainsaws the chicken in half, and they're just like, "Oh, that's nasty."
Yeah.
And that baby being born like that, dude. My date at the time had to cover my eyes. I'm like, dude, I can't. No.
I actually remember going to see the remake of Dawn of the Dead in theaters, and when I learned that shortly thereafter it was Zack Snyder that directed, I was like, Zach, you done good, son. You done good. I'm sorry. Almost anything that's attached to Zack Snyder is usually going to be good. Just saying. If you disagree with me, that's fine.
I didn't know it was even him.
Yep.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. That was one of his
different with that movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. It woke up and it hit the ground running. Like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I've been away for 5 minutes. Hey, there's a kid in the hallway. Ah! And all hell breaks loose. Like, damn. And don't choke on your popcorn. Holy crap. There was no lead up. It just bam. Oh. Then she gets outside a window and she sees the whole neighborhood's going to shit. Like, how did I not hear this going on outside? Like, shit's crashed, on fire. Like, how thick are your walls? Holy crap. But, like, I do give it credit. It hit the ground running. There was like, yeah.
Well, they had a good cast too because you had
It was star-studded.
yeah, because you had Ving Rhames, you had Matt Frewer, you had Mekhi Phifer, you had
One of the guys from Fast and the Furious. I can't remember his name.
yeah, I can't either, so don't feel bad.
Mhm.
Jean Leguizamo. That's not. No, it's not Jean Leguizamo.
No, John Leguizamo was in a different zombie film.
Yeah, he was in
City of the Dead or some shit.
yeah, City of the Dead. Yeah, that was it.
He was kind of a twat though, wasn't he?
Huh?
He was kind of a twat in that movie though, wasn't he?
Yeah, no.
He worked for a twat, which makes you by proxy a twat.
Eh.
Man, I feel like there's a lot of zombie movies I need to watch tonight.
Hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of zombiness I need to watch tonight.
Yeah, me too.
I may not get any sleep. Shit.
Tom Savini's in that movie too.
Who?
Tom Savini, he's in Dawn of the Dead.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's a
but I
makeup
don't know.
artist.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Sire would want to put good people around him that have worked on
Probably
stuff like this
Stephen
before.
King, he was probably just in it for a short bit, just for people to be like, wait, is that him? And that'd be that.
Yeah.
I prefer comedy over horror, so I would go with Shaun of the Dead.
Yes,
That's a great movie, though.
it is.
I love that.
True.
movie.
Mr. Lindell, have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead?
I don't think I have.
That's your homework
Oh.
tonight, sir.
Mr. Lindell, you need to watch Shaun. It's pronounced Shaun of the Dead, not Dawn. It's a play. It's
Yeah.
honestly it's a spoof. It's a play on words.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
you did that.
It's got Simon Pegg. It's got Nick Frost in it. It's British, but it is
So it's going to be funny. obviously.
is incredibly well done. It's like a love letter to people who are fans of zombie movies. But here's the cool thing, and this is how it's tagged. It's a romantic comedy with zombies.
Oh.
Speaking of romantic comedy with zombies, Warm Bodies.
And not only
Oh, warm bodies. Don't, no.
That was so cute for a zombie stuff. That was cute.
I wanted to see that. I never got a chance to. I wanted to see Warm Bodies.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but
got
Mr.
homework too then.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Mr. London, I definitely recommend if you love a good laugh and you like if you are hip to British humor, because and I get the feeling you probably would be. I would check out.
British humor.
I would definitely check out Shaun of the Dead. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz, and that world's
Okay,
end.
if you see Hot Fuzz, just add zombies into this, and that you've got that magic dynamic between
man.
Frost and Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and I forget the Edgar Wright.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
guys.
Edgar Wright is weird. Like he's got some weird. Like that dude's odd.
But
That's
he's
like-
so good at weird.
Is Tim Burton British?
No, he's American.
Okay, good. And this guy's like a British Tim Burton. He's very weird. Because if Tim Burton had been British, that would have been very weird for me to say.
Now here'd be a cool crossover for two directors. Edgar
Oh my
Wright.
God, yes. So much.
Myra, can I finish, please? Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, all right. You'd see a lot of jokes about feet, I think.
But that's okay. because two of our greatest directors working together on a project. Oh, even better.
I vote for Edgar Wright and Tim Burton.
I think they're too similar in style. I think the ambassador's choice is better.
That's because you like Salma Hayek in a bikini.
Well, who wouldn't like Selma Hayek in a bikini?
I kind of see his point there. You know, you bring up Selma, so yeah.
Hold my beer. Quentin Tarantino and Zack Snyder.
Oh shit!
Now that'd be some next level shit right there.
Explosions.
God.
Okay, who's directing and who's writing the script and what in that mashup?
Have Quentin do the writing because that's his strong suit. He's a good director. Don't misunderstand me, but he's good at writing. And have Zach directing, but have Quentin as like a co-director or something.
If you're going to do that, then I would have them remake a movie.
The question is, what movie?
1941's King of the Zombie.
Oh,
that was a comedy.
Is that the one where the guy's thinking the zombie, but he's actually not?
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to get off of here. My newborn's screaming, and
dude, that's fine.
I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, Ambassador, for having me on. Nice meeting all of you.
All right. It was great meeting you, man.
Have a great time, Cody.
Yeah, Cody, you take care, bud. And to everybody that'll catch us on the replay, I know we've only got 2 people watching, but if you have not subscribed to Superior Hero Reviews, his link is down in the description. I suggest go checking him out. He has a great channel. He's been on here before, and he does a lot of good stuff on his channel. And Mr. Lindell, I will include a link to your channel down in the description as well, because I didn't plan on having you on, but I want to make sure I include you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Well, Mr. Lindell, I'm amazed. I've been on YouTube almost a year, and I did not even know you were here. And I'm like, how the hell did I miss you? Okay. I'm serious.
He does early morning stuff, though.
Yeah, see.
True.
My channel's been up a while, but COVID-19 happened. I didn't have anything to do. Yeah. And I just started, okay, let's see what'll happen with this. Before that, I'd find an interesting movie, I'd post it. And I just started with the premieres during the coof epidemic, the lockdown. Yeah. And people found me, one guy, and then one guy watched one premiere, and it just started from there.
Well, and I've worked with Moira before. I've worked with CeCe and everything. But it was because of DJ that I discovered you, and I am so glad that I have, because CeCe and Moira will tell you both by reputation, I do not blow smoke up people's asses. If I say I like you, I mean I like you. And all the conversations you and I have had, you're like a really cool hip uncle. And I have a really, now here's the thing. I have a really cool and kind of hip uncle. Okay. But he lives like 3 hours away from me, unfortunately. Actually, 4 hours away from me. But
the funny thing about what you just said, in a way, I am the cool and hip uncle for my nieces and nephews. Okay.
I believe it.
I got the guitars and the computer games, and
you got all the cool toys.
The bat list on the wall. You got
all the cool uncles. You got all the cool uncle stuff.
Yeah,
but
evidently I do.
But let's to kind of get back a little bit on topic here. Although we're kind of we're in extra time here. This is just burner time at this point because I think we pretty much. If we come back around to Night of the Living Dead, that's fine. If not, I think we've pretty much covered the topic pretty well. Yeah, if that would actually to have Zack Snyder and Quentin Tarantino do a remake and have it be of a comedy, I think would be a great move. Honestly, because think about Quentin Tarantino. He has a very odd sense of humor, and Zack Snyder, I get the impression, although I've never seen him actually do a comedy per se, unless I missed something, which I may have. I think he would have a very odd sense of humor as well, and it would be.
Well, Pulp Fiction had its funny moments.
Oh, all of Quentin Tarantino's movies had their funny moments.
I had like a twist of humor throughout it.
Could you imagine Quentin Tarantino doing a zombie picture? Oh my gosh!
He did Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, it's not a huge leap.
Well, that's vampires.
Yeah, that's vampires.
Yeah, it's still reanimated things biting people.
True.
Point taken.
Yeah, but you almost missed the vampire part in the movie, though, when they go to blasting things. They go to blowing them away. If it weren't for the fangs, you would forget it was a vampire movie.
Speaking, yes. And I'll say this, I love From Dusk Till Dawn. And yes, there is stuff in there that I don't necessarily approve of. Like, well, it's in a very nasty, dirty, funky gentleman's club. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, see, if you served in the military, you would have frequented it at least one. There are 5 or 6 in every soldier's town. So, and CCDV can back me up on this.
I'm not saying I lived in one on my off time, but I'm just saying if I did, I would know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Sushi has been brought to the house, so I'm about fixing to bail.
Say that one more time, Moira.
Some food was brought, and I am feel myself being lured away.
Well, that's okay.
The smell of food.
Honestly, we're at just about an hour and a half, so I think we are going to go ahead and wrap up here and everything. And this is honestly, I did not expect to go up against the vice presidential debate, but honestly, I'd much rather do this than watch that, and I honestly had a great time with all of you.
Me too.
Same here.
So,
we can always watch a recap of the Octagon fight later.
Yes. So before we close out, I want you 3 to plug your channels, and then we'll close out for the night. So I yield the floor.
I will be doing Pain Volume 5 tomorrow, where a bunch of disabled persons or people in a great deal of pain can get together and chit-chat, because most of the time in this community especially, we want to talk about pop culture and have fun. But sometimes people in pain need to get together and talk about it. So tomorrow is Pain Volume 5, starting noon Central Time on my channel. Sunday morning is Acts chapter 7, I believe. I'll have to go back and see the last one I did just to make absolutely sure. But that's my Sunday Bible study. And of course, Wednesday afternoons for me, evenings for most people, is the spiritual stream. And next week we're talking about Hinduism. So join me for spiritual stream, Bible study, and pain streams. And I promise I'll put another cooking video out there.
Oh, yeah. I need a paella recipe.
Oh, I could do paella.
Oh, I have not had paella since I was 19.
I actually need to cook bolognese. I may have a friend come over and actually film me cooking bolognese.
Well,
So paella will have to be another time. I'm sorry.
Y'all are a mess.
Eh,
I have to do a sourdough recipe too. I got tons of requests for cooking videos, crying out loud. But paella sounds good, so I'll probably do that pretty soon.
I'll get the scallions.
okay, ladies first.
Moira? Okay, Moira, you pointing at your name isn't plugging your channel.
Find my channel.
It actually is.
Ha ha ha. Very funny.
Wow.
Okay, fine. If you won't do it, I'll do it for you. Go check out Moira Kitty's channel. I put the link to hers down in the description. She covers all sorts of stuff. She does what the F news or anything during the week. And she does all sorts of cool, groovy, goofy, silly things because she is all those things and we love her. So go check out Moira Kitty's channel. And Mr. Lindell, I yield my time.
Okay, Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies. I'm a movie channel, okay? When I was a kid, insomnia, so I would be up like all hours of the night. And the good thing was there was a couple of mom and pop channels, TV stations in my locale, and they would show these old movies all night. So whatever, Bogart, Charlie Chan, the horror movies, Vincent Price. I'm a big, huge Vincent Price fan. Okay, so since Halloween is coming up and he is known for his Poe interpretations, especially I'm doing a lot of Poe by Vincent Price. Okay, if it's a horror movie by Vincent Price and I have it in my collection, I'm going to show it this month.
Was he ever in a movie that wasn't a horror movie?
He did a few, like in the 30s. He was more of a bad. He was in the 30s and 40s. He was more of a heavy.
Oh.
But like in the 50s and 60s, he gravitated into horror. But he quit when it went into the gore stuff because that he didn't like. Which, if you watch his movie, especially when he does Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, anything, that's like Shakespeare when he does it.
Yes.
I have one video. It's an evening with Vincent Price, and it's like 4 Edgar Allan Poe short stories, and he's acting them out.
Nice.
And you're like, yes,
Dude.
okay. This guy was the shizzle when it came to Edgar Allan Poe. And
Are we going to start riffing again?
one of these days, I don't, YouTube is so persnickety about that kind of stuff. I don't know when I'm going to try to sneak a couple in. Probably, let's plan for the Friday, the 30th. Let's kind of rock in Halloween.
Well,
let's see if YouTube will let me get away with it. So if not, I got to find something else.
Right on.
But the riffs were fun. I don't know why they shut me down.
indeed. And I was actually there I actually watched a couple of those and they were insanely fun. Funny. Loved them to death. So, well, folks, as most of you know, for those of you that will come across this, I am the ambassador. My channel is the Ambassadora Wing. Obviously. Yes, obviously. Sorry, bad joke. I cover pop culture, modern and retro. I do live streams. I do videos. As far as what I've got coming up, for the rest of this week, I don't have anything coming up because I'm going to be busy working on part 4 of my Star Wars fan fiction, Ray Who. That'll be out next week. As for next week, I will be back Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. Wednesday afternoon will be my Babylon 5 review with Fiona Wolf, Mountains of Elysium, and Classic Comics. And then next week for Wicked Wednesdays, we are going to be discussing one of the greatest horror movies and one of the greatest supernatural movies of all time, and that is The Exorcist, with the late, great Max von Sydow and Linda Blair. So, and that'll be... I know, Moira, in it. And that'll be again. That'll be at 7:30 Central Time and everything. And be sure to tune in for that. Obviously, I do want to send a quick thank you out to everyone. I just recently crossed 10,000 views for the channel, and I just today crossed 330 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who has. Thank you to everyone who has recently subscribed. I am closing in on 400 followers on Twitter, believe it or not, which is equally awesome. I appreciate everybody that's following me on Twitter. I hope I'm giving out good tweets and saying out a lot of positive stuff. So, and I'm working on a couple other projects. Anything that'll be coming up the pipe next month. I will be celebrating 1 year on YouTube, and I'm working on something pretty big. So be sure I'll be updating as that gets closer. So anyways, folks, you all have a great night. Thank you all for tuning in. For those of you that will catch us on the replay, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this out if you're enjoying what I'm doing. And if you come across this and you are not a subscriber and you enjoyed this, check out some of my other content, check out my guests, and go subscribe to them as well. So y'all have a great night. Happy Halloween. Ooh. And until next time, it's the Ambassadors signing off.